Moment. All right, here we are. So, welcome to class. Today, we're going to do a reading activity that Bob is very well.
Interesting.
You're ready for this today, I think. So we're going to talk about the text and things about it. It's about traveling. So I won't say any more, but it'll be fun. It'll be definitely fun today. So let me just make sure that this is available. It's up and ready to go. And we'll screen share. Slide one, perfect. And actually, what we're going to be doing is sharing. We'll be continuing this on Wednesday. Yep, today's Monday. So next Wednesday, well, this coming Wednesday, we'll read more about this. So it's going to be the same topic, the same idea, but just more to it. Okay, so today is part one. Like I said, I've decided to change it to part one and part two together just to see how it goes. Okay, so perfect. So this is London. All right, we're going to be talking about London. So Bob, you have experience in London, don't you?
Yes, of course.
Okay, and so what did you think about it?
Really, really very, very nice city, incredible city. A lot of culture, a lot of artists, art, musical, musical, everything
Mm,
about all buildings. Really,
perfect.
yes, city.
Do you have a favorite part of the city, or just in general, it was everything was great?
Um, Buckingham Palace, Trafalgar Square, British Museum, a lot of bridge, Millennium Bridge, Tower Bridge, Tower of London, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. Well, that's good. And Ken, you've never been to London, right?
Oh no, I've never been to.
Okay. So,
Uh,
tell me, would
mhm.
you like to go and why, or what have you heard from it?
Yeah, because I like rock music. London is
Mm-hmm.
one of the makeup, especially classic rock. A lot of classic rock. Yeah, London or Manchester, Glasgow, or so. Yeah, maybe I want also Beatles. Yeah, so I
Nice.
want to travel around musical travel for Britain.
Mm-hmm. All right, perfect. Well, good. And let's see. Ken, do you know how long it would take you to get there? Probably extremely way too many hours, is what I'm thinking.
Sorry, what did you say?
How long it would take you to fly
Ah,
to London?
to London, maybe a little bit shorter than New York, but it's maybe more than 10 hours. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, I was
Yes,
thinking because to go to New York, you would fly basically over the United States, but
maybe
to come to Europe, you
yeah.
would fly over Asia, right?
There's a two route, from southern route across Asia. Also,
Mm-hmm.
north route is no, no, not Antarctica, no, North Pole. Cross plane flies through North Pole or kind of Russia, yeah, Siberia route probably.
Okay.
So north
Interesting.
route is shorter than southern route, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I suppose. All right. Well, very good. And so let's see, Chen. Who? What about you? You've never been to London, have you?
Yeah, and real actually, I never go breed go breed bring sorry, go abroad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, what are some other famous things in London? Do you know anything that's famous in London?
yeah. Mm, in the uh, famous, I in I look the television and the film. All can see the video
Mm-hmm.
video of the very beautiful London.
Okay, very good. Well, perfect. Well, some of the famous sites is that what Bob had mentioned. So, all right, cool, good. Okay, so what I think we should do here is let's have. Oh, let me see. Where should we read? Chenhu, why don't you read until here? Okay, so Chenhu, you can read all of this. Then I'll have Bob read this and Ken read this. Okay, then we can divide everything.
Okay. Start from start.
Yep, you can start. Yep, read everything in the blue part. Okay.
Okay. London on the string. London is where is at nightlife, culture, people, entertainment. People tell you that you will have the time of your life if you visit London. Everything you could want. It's in the vibrant capital, right?
Okay,
But
good.
if
Oh, no, you can stop there. Thanks. So, just a little introduction. So, what I want to talk about now is some vocabulary. The title of this is really called London on a Shoestring. Does anyone understand the phrase on a shoestring?
Is it related to the location of London?
No.
Okay. Hmm.
Any ideas?
Like walking.
Okay, all right. Well, let me help you out here. So, on a shoestring just basically means that there's not a lot of money. Okay,
Oh,
so they're talking about traveling in London with not, without having a lot of money. That's all. Okay, so it says, London, there's where there's nightlife, culture, people, entertainment, lots of things to do. Okay, um, and everything, they have everything. Obviously, it's a capital. There's a lot of things to do. But what about vibrant capital? What does the word vibrant do?
very beautiful city
Mm-hmm.
means, yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yep, that's perfect. So lots of things to do is very colorful. Maybe it could represent the people. Lots of different diversity of people there as well. Diversity of things to do. So that's kind of what the word vibrant is representing here. Okay. Does anyone have any other questions about vocabulary yet with this? Everything else seems to be more or less okay. All right, so Bob, let's have you read. Oops, this blue part. Okay.
Okay. But if you want to stay here for even just weekend, great. You are looking at spending considerable amount of money. You want to go, but can you realistically afford it?
All right, good. So let's talk about any questions first. Why don't you three ask me questions? Any words that you don't understand or phrases?
Um, Realistically is like reality.
Exactly, realistically. Is it, yeah, realistic? Is it something that you can actually do?
Yes. So yes, I understand. London is big city, approximately 8 million people, and like every huge city, you have poor people, mid people, or rich people, and um, you can eat for little bit of money. You can eat in the restaurant, and like 20, what's the name? In the big houses, the luxury restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
cruiser, and if you want to go but afford it, yes, I understand.
Okay, good. Well, then let me see. So it says even just a weekend break. What is a weekend break in this case?
Mm,
Or Ken or Chen Hu, you could also answer.
Maybe break means rest.
Okay, yep. So like for a weekend, basically when you don't work on a weekend, you could go to London. Obviously depending where you live, because I think it's for me it's the fastest to go.
Mhm.
Bob, how long does it take you to get to London in an airplane? Do you know?
uh, please repeat one more time question.
Yeah. How long does it take you from Serbia to get to London?
Yeah, duration of the
The
flight,
flight.
like
Mm-hmm.
from I usually come back from Heathrow, London Heathrow, Belgrade, Serbia, approximately 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Okay, interesting. Because I think it's just about 2 hours here. So that's quite interesting. I suppose we're not super far away from each other, but okay, good. So just for a weekend, we could go there, Bob, basically. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're looking at spending a considerable amount of money. What is a considerable amount? What do you understand from that? Do you think it's a lot, a little, normal? Do you have no idea?
Uh,
And this again, anyone can answer. Bob doesn't have to answer on his own.
yes, I think I know, but explain
That's
like
okay. Mhm.
usually from your salary, you need money for your apartment, food, for the bills, and if you have extra money for the travel to London, this means spending a considerable amount of money.
Okay, so would that be a lot or a little?
Middle,
Mm,
not a lot, not
all right.
no.
Anyone else? I'm taking a poll. Anyone else?
I
Ken, do
think
you
it's
know?
large. Sounds like large amount of money.
It does. It is. Considering spending a considerable amount of money means a lot. So they say even if you go away for a weekend, which obviously isn't a lot of, you know, time. It's just a couple days, but this is definitely it's a lot of money for those couple days. Okay. This also affects, for example, again, where you go, what you do, that kind of thing, as far as the hotel. But hotels in London are going to be expensive. It's a capital, it's London, it's famous. So, just as the world goes round with money, London says, hey, let's take advantage. Our prices are all going to be expensive. I've heard the same thing happen in Rome, for example. I've heard a story of an ice cream cone costing 15 euros. Something absolutely ridiculous, but it's Rome, so they can do whatever they want, basically. So,
One
yes.
euro, sorry, 1 euro equals to what American dollar?
It's relatively similar. Let's say, I think,
Okay. Okay.
I think it's €1 to $1.20 or something.
I see.
It's basically the same. There's not a big difference these days.
Okay.
So, but €15, that's a lot of money. I mean, that's like almost $20, let's say.
Yes.
That's
Oh.
ridiculous.
One ice cream is really expensive.
That must be really extremely, extremely delicious ice cream for
Yes.
it
It
to
should
cost
be.
that much. uh, I don't think any ice cream is worth that much. So, it's just that of traveling's expensive. People like to travel, so of course they're going to take advantage of people and say, "Hey, well, if you want to come to London, London is a very famous place. It's going to cost you money." And so, of course, everything costs you money. Well, I guess the museums don't, which is nice. Um, and so it says you want to go, but can you realistically afford it? Do you actually have enough money to spend on a very expensive weekend in London? Is what it's saying. Okay.
I I heard museums are free in England.
Yeah, they are. In London,
So,
they are. In England, I don't know, but in London, yes.
yeah, maybe going to the museum is good for me.
Yeah, I
Or
remember
have
we. I went probably when I got here, 6 years ago, let's say, and I was with a friend of mine, and we were running all over London trying to see the museums, and I can't remember which museum. Like, is it the British Museum maybe, or the National Gallery? I don't know. But wherever the Rosetta Stone is, the Rosetta Stone that has the three languages on it, and my friends, we have to see that. And so we ran through this museum, running, running, running everywhere, just looking for it. We got a picture and we had to go back to the hotel so we could get on the flight. Oh, it was terrible. But it was so funny because it's that one special thing that we wanted to see. And when we had the time to do it, it was late. Um, so no, it was just pretty funny. And in general, I mean, yeah, it was nice to go to London. It's typical London. Everyone is, very. I don't know. Everyone likes it. It was fine. It was a capital to me. It wasn't like I didn't fall in love with London, but I'm not in love with the United States either. So to me, it's just kind of a European city. Well, for now, that speaks English. So no, it was good. It was good, but I don't need to go back anytime soon. So, Bob, would you return to London? Did you love it?
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course. Okay, good. Perfect. Well, Ken, why don't you go ahead and read this last paragraph?
Okay. Let's look at some of the more budget-friendly option of where to stay and what to do in London. As limited as it is, there is still a huge amount open to you, the budget traveler.
All right. So, any questions in this last part?
The budget traveler means the traveler who spend not some doesn't have not so many budget.
Right. They don't have a very big budget. Absolutely. A budget
Okay.
traveler is someone who's looking for those special deals, very cheap prices. So, good. All right. Well, yeah. And so budget friendly options are just like options in which don't cost a lot of money. So budget friendly. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Moving down. There's some more reading here. And so let's see. Chenhu, why don't you read this first paragraph, getting here? Okay.
Okay. Getting here. Usually fighting, usually flighting from capital city into London are recently uh, afford, affordable and direct. If you are booking in advance, you are probably looking at finding a return flight just a little under 100 enclosures in euros. However, if you are coming in from another destination are ca- council, council or town, uh, somewhere without direct lightings into London, then you stop over may well add a lot more onto the journey. You will be lucky. You will be lucky to get a flight for under 150 euros unless you book extremely early.
Okay. So very good. Lots of difficult words in here. All right, so let's go little by little with this. So usually flights from capital cities into London are relatively affordable. So I want to talk about relatively affordable. So we looked at affordable on the last slide, sorry. And affordable means that you can allow yourself or you can pay for something. But relatively affordable, what do you think that might mean? Any idea? And not just Chen-Hu, if Bob or Ken, you want to answer, that'd be great.
Relative means, how can I say, somewhat affordable.
Okay, yeah, that's true. So the relatively affordable is pretty affordable, not too much more expensive than, or not, very expensive, let's say.
Mhm.
Okay. And then a little bit later here it says, and direct. If you're booking in advance, what is booking in this case? Maybe we can think of a different word, a synonym for this. Booking. What? It's not a book, like something you read.
It's reservation in this case.
Yeah, if you're going to reserve your flight in advance. Exactly. Okay. In advance means before your flight. You're probably looking at a flight, finding a return flight just over a little over 100 euros. So let's say 100 euros, let's say that would be like $120 or something like that. So really not too bad. I think that would be normal. I try and find my flights for cheaper than that. And normally that works out. So there's 100 euros. Oh, coastal town. What's a coastal town?
Town of the river.
Okay, on the river, maybe. This is more for like the oceans and the seas. For example, to a coast, Malaga. I live in the province of Malaga here in Spain. Malaga is a coastal town. It's on the sea, it's on the Mediterranean Sea. So it's on the coast. On the coast, it's more on the outside, on the exterior part of the country, let's say. It's not like in like the rivers where it's inside. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Coastal would be on the outside of the country, the perimeter. Okay, so that's fine. So if you're coming from one of these a different destination or coastal town, flights might be a little bit more expensive. But what's a stopover? What's a stopover?
You change the flight.
Exactly. Or you have a connecting flight. Or we can say a stopover, layover. If you have a connecting flight, if you're connecting to another, I don't know, airline. Anyway, yes. If your plane stops at an airport in between your destination and your original city. Does that make sense?
I hear you speak
Yes.
English.
What, Bob?
When I go to Spain, I going via Heathrow, London.
Ah, so you have a layover, a stopover in Heathrow. When are you coming to Spain?
Because I must be on the ship from the a special date.
Okay.
And in this date, I have not a direct flight from my country, example, to Vigo, Spain. And from Heathrow, you always have connection to flight everywhere in the world.
Hmm. Okay.
Heathrow is very popular for the connection flights
Mm-hmm.
everywhere in the world, biggest airport.
All right. Perfect. Yeah, no, Heathrow. I went through Heathrow when I went to the United States in September and came back. So now I know that one. It's not very big. Um, okay, good. So that is what a stopover and add a lot more onto the journey. So you'll be lucky if you can find a flight for less than 150 euros, unless you book extremely early. Now, I don't always agree with this. I've done a lot of traveling in my life, and they say you're supposed to buy your ticket on Tuesdays after 3 p.m. in the afternoon local time because that's when flights change. They say you should buy on a Tuesday. Yep. Also, flight day should be during the week, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, because those are less busy for business travel, for example. So I try and follow those as well. I don't remember what day I bought the tickets. I think it was a weekend, but I flew on a Wednesday. Wednesdays are really good days to fly because, like I said, they're not as busy for example, business flights. Businesses are, more Mondays and Fridays, I would think, early in the morning. So, just you have to look at different dates. Um, Good. Bob, do you have any, you buy a lot of flights, right?
Mm,
Do you buy a lot of flights? Do you fly a
I'm
lot?
I'm very lucky with buying tickets for my flights because my company buy for me always flight tickets, and also for the seamen, for the crew member in the
Mm-hmm.
cruise ship, we have discount 50%, and my flight tickets is always is half of the reality price of the tickets because I'm crew member. I'm working in the ship, and this is my job. And always, cruise company have deal with many airlines in the
Mm-hmm.
world for the discount.
Okay.
Example, yes, flight tickets from the Belgrade to London is 100 euros, but for me is always 50 euros if company buy both flight tickets for me.
Okay. Good. Well, Ken, what about you? Do you buy flights often or not?
Not so often, man. So I'm curious about this price is from where? From Germany?
It just kind of depends. It's saying like if you get like from Malaga to London,
Mm-hmm.
it depending on the season, depending on if it's around Christmas, then everything goes up. If it's
Mm-hmm.
depending on the day, but sure, you can fly. I normally within Europe don't pay more than 100 euros for flights.
Yeah, so because this price is very cheap, if I go to London from Japan, yeah, it
Yeah,
costs a
well, you're
lot
on a
actually.
different continent, Ken. If I were to go to Japan from here, it would cost hundreds of euros.
Maybe, yeah.
So, it really depends where you are in the world. And, me going to the United States would cost the same, for me to go to Japan. So it's quite expensive. The one thing I really love about living in Europe is that it's so cheap to fly places.
Hmm.
So, good. Ken, did you have any other questions?
No, thank you.
Okay. Chenhu, everything's okay?
Okay.
Good? Everything's okay now?
Sorry.
Okay. No, everything is okay. Do you have any questions about the first paragraph?
Yeah. No question.
Okay, perfect. So what I'll have Bob do is read this next part here, okay?
Oh, yes, of course.
There you go.
Accommodation.
Yep.
Accommodation. If you do your research early, you might be able to find a good deal for something quite central. We're not talking about the areas of St. James or Soho, but somewhere a few more stops on metro like Elephant and the Castle, for example. If you're willing to use the metro or a bus, then this should be fine for you. For a one night stay in run of the mill 3-star hotel, you could pay anything from 80 euros to 150 euros, depending on the time of year.
Okay. So good. So yeah, basically what they're saying, and this is what I do too, as soon as I find that I'm staying somewhere, I look for a hotel. That way at least it's guaranteed, and I try and rent a room that I can cancel just in case anything happens or changes, something like that. Okay. And normally, yes, if you find something months before, it's going to be cheaper. Once you get closer, it's going to be more expensive. But sometimes when it's really near the day, they might decrease it quite a bit so that they sell the room, or it still might be pretty expensive. So you never really know. So it's always good to look around, okay? So they were saying, if you buy something early enough, you might find a good deal in the center, okay? Something pretty central. They're not talking about the areas of St. James or Soho, because those are probably more expensive areas, but it says the stops like Elephant and Castle. I don't know. If you are willing to use a metro, what's willing in this case? Willing.
Um, if you are willing, if you want to use the metro.
Yeah, not only if you want, there might be a different way of saying this. Ken, do you have a different way of maybe describing
Maybe
the word willing?
happily, happy to use, happy
Okay,
to
good.
use.
Yeah, that's a kind of a good one. It's a little bit more of that of, well, I don't mind. Sure, why not? That's fine. So if you don't mind using the metro or bus, then staying in one of these places like Elephant or getting off the metro at Elephant and Castle would be fine. Okay, it says for a one night stay in a run of the mill. What is that? If you don't know what it means, what do you think it could mean? Chenhu, do you have any idea? Run of the mill?
Sorry. I have no idea.
That's okay. That's not a problem. Bob, do you have any idea what this could mean? A run of the mill?
Yes, I know. This is like prestige, like will be first, like fancy.
Actually,
Like
not.
for one stay in the round of the mill 3-star hotel.
Okay, well, we'll wait.
Luxury hotel, luxury hotel.
All right, maybe. Ken, do you have any idea?
It sounds like quickly. Just wanna stay quickly.
Well, it's
Sounds
because
like
of the word run.
that. Yes.
Okay, well, run of the mill, run, in kind of this case, it would be like, in my opinion, I think this saying could be like run of the mill. In back in the 1900s, it was normal to have a mill. It was something normal. Everyone had a mill. And so when they say a run of the mill 3-star hotel, it's just an average 3-star hotel. Normal.
Oh, I see.
Okay? Not above average, not super luxurious, not super terrible, just normal. Okay. So that's run of the mill. And yeah, this just for an average hotel room, you could pay 80 to 150 euros. That to me is ridiculous. For one night, 150 euros? No, thank you. I like to pay that for 2 nights or less if possible. So, my husband and I really like to travel a lot. This Thursday, we're going to the Canary Islands, which I'm very excited about. We found very cheap flights, 60 euros round trip direct per person. And the place that we're staying is an apartment, and it's about 120 euros for 3 nights, which, what, is that 40 euros then per night? And it's an apartment. And so it's very cheap because it's not the busy season. Okay, and so that's partly why we're going, because it's not very expensive right now. So I like to think I'm very good at finding good deals, and this 150 euros per night is not a good deal. Maybe it is to someone else, but not to me personally. So let's continue. We've got some more things to go through. So Ken, could you read about transport, please?
Okay, transport. Even for a tourist, the public transport is affordable. The London Underground offers something called the Oyster card. You need to pay a £5 refundable deposit once you register, and then all you have to do is top up. Having an Oyster card means you can travel within the underground system, use the business and most national rail services in London. Every time you use it for a journey in the underground, the price works out to about 1.50 euro, not euro, pound. By far the cheapest thing in London.
Okay, good. So let's see. Transport in London, they say, is affordable. That's fine. That's good. I've heard of the Oyster card. I've never used it. Bob, have you ever used the Oyster card?
No.
Okay.
But I know what is Oyster card.
Okay, good. So yep, so you have to pay £5, just in case you probably lose the actual card, and that's pretty normal. What is a refundable deposit?
Maybe you how can I say, you can refund the deposit if you don't use it. I'm not sure the system, but usually here a prepaid card like this, it cannot be refundable. You need to pay. You need to use it all if you don't want. But I don't know.
Okay, well, let me help you out here. So refundable deposit, let's say, I don't know how much the card costs. Let's say £20, okay? You get the card and you have to pay 25 because you're paying £5 for the actual physical card. Then if you use the card and return it, the refundable deposit is £5, which is for the card.
So £5 can be returned after
Yes.
that?
After you use the card.
Which means, sorry, I confused. Pay for £5 at the beginning and use a lot of public transportation. Even so, I can return. I can get the £5 after that.
That's what a refundable deposit. Yes, that just means that you're giving them £5 for now, but they will give it back when you return the physical card. In this case, okay. So you have to pay that when you first register for the card, and then later. So maybe once you use it that first time, and you use, for the example, the £20, it says all you have to do is top up. Top up. Do you know what that means?
No.
Does anyone know what that means?
I know.
What?
This is buy additional allowance. um, yes, this is by I know for the my mobile phone. I have
Mm-hmm.
English SIM card for the mobile phone, and if I need to buy additional minutes, I buy voucher in the everywhere in the England and put the telephone 16 digits and I top up um, minutes from my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like the top up the Oyster card for the transport.
Mm-hmm.
You buy um, additional tickets for the buy the tickets for the transport.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, yep, just as Bob explained, first you buy, you have the $5 refundable deposit. You get the card with money on it so you can go to and forth with, the transport. Once you use all that money that you bought, then you have to top up again. Top up, like Bob said, is to add more money, and so you can use the same physical card.
Okay, so £5 is not enough, to use. You have to kind of put the money into the card, prepared card, and
Right,
then you
exactly.
go.
This is for the
I got it.
physical Oyster card.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Good. Perfect. Let's see. I'm assuming you can travel within the underground system, the buses, most national rail services. What's a rail service?
Train.
Okay, that was a very easy answer. That's fine. But 150 by far. What is by far? By far the cheapest thing in London.
Maybe sounds like so far.
It sounds like it, but it might not exactly mean. Bob, do you have any idea what by far means?
Yes, I heard this word. By far the cheapest thing in the land. By the way,
By the way, not so much. Chenhu, do you know what this means by far?
I think the president
Okay.
uh, at at this time, yeah.
Okay, sure. By far kind of means like a big amount of something. And so in this, they're saying that the Oyster card is the cheapest thing in London by a lot. Okay, that there's nothing else nearly as cheap as this card. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, this is the cheapest thing in London by a lot. Okay, the next cheapest thing is probably like a lot more expensive, basically. Okay, so that's fine. What I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go ahead and read this. That way everyone's done a paragraph today. Let's see how I do. So activities. Okay, a typical day trip will leave London by bus around 8 a.m. and get back in at around 3 p.m. There are lots to choose from. Whether you prefer food and wine, culture, history, there is something available starting from around £45 per person. PP, okay? Guided tours around London are, of course, much cheaper. You can take a river cruise along the River Tame. I've learned it's Tame and not Thame or whatever. There are many different packages. The cheapest starting from just £12. It goes without saying that this price doesn't include any extras. Okay, so some pretty interesting information here. So a day trip, we're talking about day trips from London, okay? That's something a lot of people want to do, to see Stonehenge, Bath, other surrounding places, okay? So yes, they said the majority says there is something available starting from around 45 pounds per person. So per person for the day from 8 to 3, you can do something with wine, culture, food, history, etc. Okay? So any questions in this first little paragraph?
Clear.
Okay. Well, with that, so guided tours, when you go with a guide around London, are of course much cheaper. Okay, you can take a river cruise, like it says here. There's different packages. What kind of packages are they talking about here?
Package tour.
For example,
I like, some travel agent offers package tour. Everything are in the package, like thing, hotel, bath, or such thing.
mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It depends. For example, if you're doing let's say, a day trip, it would be the
Mhm.
transportation there. It might be the food if you have time to eat there, which from 8 to 3 you should have lunch. So it could be the food. It could be the entrance ticket to something, maybe well, maybe not a museum in London or something, but maybe it's a performance or a play or something at the theater, the movie theater, something like that. That would also be included in the package. Okay.
Right.
All right, that's good. And at the very end, it says, it goes without saying. What is that phrase? It goes without saying. What would you say that means?
Cool.
I think that mean is don't say like that like that,
Mm, okay,
right?
a little bit. They're saying it goes without saying that it's everybody knows this information. Okay, so if it says there are many packages, the cheapest starting from around £12, it goes without saying that this price doesn't include any extras. If it's the cheapest package, it doesn't have the extra cool things. Okay, so it's maybe just in this case, transportation and entrance fee to something you're going to see. There's no lunch included, for example. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because because any extras then would be, extra things that if the package is more expensive, it would be included. But because this is so cheap, you pay for everything. Okay, perfect. Let's see. We can take a look at this page very quickly. Chen-Hu, why don't you read this for us, okay?
Okay. I think this is my last one today.
Okay.
So after reading that, do you think the side of London is affordable for you? And don't forget that you need to add on all those little extras like food, drinks, and souven,
Souvenirs.
souvenirs, souvenirs, souvenirs. Probably best to be feis- feisty, feisty, rich before you go touring London, spending money like it's no job. Don't you agree?
Good. Okay, so after looking at all of these different expenses, do you think London is affordable for you? Ken, what do you think? Yes or no?
The problem is the flight to London. After that, maybe the airplane ticket.
I would
Maybe.
accept that. Yeah, that's true. I'm sure it's the same for Chen Hu as well. Bob, what about you? What do you think?
Oh, I like London, but London is not affordable for me. All
Okay.
my salary only for my travel. If company bought for me flight tickets and I going to my ship, under my job.
Okay, well that's fine. Yeah, I mean London's expensive. I would prefer to spend my money somewhere else that I haven't been instead of return to London. So that's in my opinion. But yeah, it's like unnecessarily expensive, I think. Plus, you know, we think of food, drinks, and souvenirs. What are souvenirs?
Like my jumper, my
Exactly.
souvenir.
When you buy something in a different country, and that's your souvenir. Exactly. Now, my last question here is in this last part. It says, probably best to be filthy rich. What is filthy rich?
Crazy rich.
Exactly, to have way too much money. It says
Yeah.
if if you're filthy rich, if you have so much money while touring in London, spending object is like it's like no object. That it doesn't even matter. Money doesn't matter. Here you go. I'll pay for anything and everything that needs to be paid for, basically. Okay. All right, well, good. So we are about finished with class. So like I said, on Wednesday, we will continue to take a look at this. We might review very quickly some of the vocabulary that we've seen today. And of course, there's questions. All right. So we're going to stop the screen share for now. And that's it. So I'm here when the video comes back on. Maybe. There it is. Hi. That I am going to eat lunch. Okay. So everyone have a really good day. Thanks for coming. And we'll see you on Wednesday. Okay.
Bon appetit.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.